creative rut. I thought, okay, a birthday collection. Hi, Alicia. I'm gonna say hello to everybody. I'm gonna say hello. That's Alicia. Hey everyone, I did not wake up today with plans to vlog my day, but I decided why not? Today's a Saturday and this is the day that I do like most of the stuff for my small creative business. In case you're new around here, I'm an aspiring surface pattern designer and I also work full-time as an environmental consultant. So that takes up most of my time during the week, which means that on the weekends is when I get to do things like film and edit my YouTube videos and work on my artwork and all of the other things that go into running this little tiny baby business. So I figured I'd take you along today and just kind of show you what my typical Saturday looks like. I always have a cat right next to me. Or two. So something I've been thinking about a lot lately is that I'm kind of in this creative rut. And basically what happened for me is that over the holidays, I traveled a lot and I was with my family in Michigan and with my partner's family in Florida. And then I was back here in Boston and I was working throughout the whole thing for my day job, my consulting job. And in the middle of all of that, I didn't really have a lot of time to be creative. So to paint or to work on my YouTube videos or anything like that. And the whole time I've been like, you know, I'm having a great time, but I'm also like, I can't wait to get back to my normal routine so that I can get back to my regular creative practice. And then when I got back, I started to feel weirdly nervous about doing that. Like, I didn't expect it at all because I had been looking forward to it for weeks and weeks. And then when I got back, that whole first week I was back, I kept like coming up with excuses to not do it. You know, I was like, you know, getting my apartment back together and I kept editing this YouTube video for way longer than I needed to be. And all these things led me to keep pushing off doing anything actually creative. And then the longer that I pushed it off, the more afraid I was to actually do anything creative. I even got all these fun new art supplies for Christmas and they were sitting there on my table like waiting for me to use them, and with each day that passed I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to use these because what if I forgot how to create artwork? What if I am not inspired anymore? What if what I create is bad, you know? It's such a strange feeling to be excited to create, but also so nervous that it's not going to be good enough, you know? So last night, Friday night, I decided, okay, enough is enough. I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to start painting some really simple stuff. So something I'm working on right now is trying to wrap up my surface pattern design portfolio. And so I want to have a few cohesive collections in there that showcase my style, my work, and the kind of work that I would like to be creating. So I am collection minded right now, and I'm just I've been coming up with collection ideas, like things that I think I could put together in a cohesive way. And so I thought, okay, something that's really simple and can be really basic and straightforward would be like a birthday collection. So I just started doing that yesterday. I put on Bridgerton and I was binging Bridgerton again. And I just painted for a while. So that's kind of my plan for today, I think, is I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna keep working on that and just see what happens. I have nothing on my agenda today, which is kind of unusual. And so I'm gonna give myself some freedom to just create and create bad art. I'm not gonna put pressure on myself to make everything really good, and we'll just see where it goes. I was also kind of laughing at myself for making these oat flour pancakes for today's vlog, because I have one other surface pattern design vlog on my channel, and in that it starts with me making oat flour pancakes. So, you know, if nothing else, I am a creature of habit. It's what I do on Saturdays. It's my Saturday morning routine. You know, I make myself pancakes pretty much every single Saturday, and that's how I start the weekend. So this is just my reality. Okay, this is my first time using my new Stay Wet palette, and well, my paint definitely stayed wet. Maybe a bit too wet. I don't know. I'll have to keep playing with it. You can see this orange color really kind of bled into everything else, so I'll keep playing with it to kind of figure out the best way to use this, but it's certainly keeping my paint wet. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, I decided to just kind of start simple with some birthday themed things. And so I actually have this sketchbook here, this giant sketchbook, where I like sketched out a bunch of the ideas that I have for this potential collection. I don't always do this, but I need to get better, like get in the habit of doing something like this, because it does help me plan out some ideas. So like this one, this is barely an idea at all, but I had like different cakes because I really like painting baked goods. So I was thinking like a cake pattern. This one is like a pretty simple balloon pattern, but I have this vision in my head for kind of like overlapping balloons. So I think that could be fun. This one is like pretty simple. I'm thinking some birthday candles spaced apart, maybe with a little cake slice in there too. I don't know, we'll see. Some random confetti, some stripes, some polka dots. One that says happy birthday, we'll see if I end up doing that. And then birthday bouquet I have here, so it would be like flowers. I realize you probably can't see much from this camera, but you'll have to trust me. I also wrote down sprinkles, question mark, ice cream? Yeah, so we'll see what I end up doing. Hi Hazel. Hazel's like, who are you talking to? Hazel likes to paint with me, so I have to get her a blanket. I always keep a blanket right here, so I can put one on the table for her to lay down while I paint. Here you go. Good girl. I was just going to show you that I got Hazel settled down, but not quite yet. Anyway, she's not settling quite yet, so I'll show you what I've been working on. So these are some of the balloons I painted. I don't really know. Hazel. Thank you, Hazel, for your help. Okay. She's just rubbing her head all over the camera. So these balloons, I don't think are quite the vision that I had in mind. I'm using acryl gouache, but I might actually want a more watercolor look for these. So I might try watering them down and trying again. But I also, Hazel, you're making this really difficult. This is really not easy with you doing this. I also painted a few other things in this same color palette, really simple things, but like those were the birthday candles I was talking about, and some confetti and some polka dots I'll use. These stripes, and these I'll turn into cake slices. I'm also, you might have seen, painting right now with hot pressed watercolor paper. And for this, I was just kind of experimenting. I think it might be a little bit too smooth for me. Like, it's giving it a very, not a very textured look, and I really like the textured look. So I think I might play around with using some watercolor, some cold press watercolor paper, and also watering down some of these colors a bit to get that more watercolor look. I don't know, we'll see. I'm just gonna experiment today, so we'll see where we go. But anyway, I'm gonna put Bridgerton back on right now. I'm on the last episode of season 1. So good. And then I'll watch season 2. This all came about because I just watched Queen Charlotte for the first time, and then now I'm like, ugh, I have to rewatch everything because I love it. So anyway, I'm gonna finish season 1, probably gonna start season 2, and I'm just gonna paint. So anyway, let's get right to it. Aren't these little cakes so cute? I wasn't really sure where I was gonna go with them, but I think they're looking really cute. I'm trying to go for a kind of messy, loose look. So anyway, I think they're adorable. I have my cheerleaders here, and we've made it to season 2 of Bridgerton now. Okay, it's been several hours now. I'm on episode 5 of season 2 of Bridgerton, so that's how long it's been. But I'll show you kind of what I've done and what I'm thinking of at this stage of the game. Okay, so here's the spread. It's kind of crazy it took me this long to do these things, but anyway, don't mind the light. It's really dark out and I have the ring light on to help me paint, so kind of funny shadows here. But anyway, I repainted these. I have a vision for how these will go once they're in Photoshop. Obviously there are no strings yet, but we will remedy that. I like these little candles I redid. Those are pretty cute. I have a vision for that too. Not sure if these cake slices will go anywhere, but that's because I had a new idea for the cake, so I painted a bunch more. You can see these are very plain, but what I'm thinking with these, and we'll see how this goes, but I started painting some like things that can go on a cake, and so I'm thinking of assembling them in Photoshop and maybe doing a little bit of digital stuff on top. So we'll see how that goes. And then this one's kind of fun. I did some florals in the same, color palette as everything else. So I think this one turned out okay. Sometimes I'm very intimidated by florals and I don't know how to do them. But we'll see how this looks. Oh, Hazel's joining us. And then I just have the ones that I did yesterday. So at this point, I think I need to take a break from these particular paintings and patterns. I don't know where I'm gonna go tonight with this. I have a little bit of YouTube stuff that I want to do tonight, so I might do that and then get back to these tomorrow. I think what could be really nice is if I can manage to get everything scanned in tonight, and especially if I could do like the background removal and stuff in Photoshop. That would be pretty great, because then I would have free reign to do all the pattern building stuff tomorrow. So we'll see if I'm able to pull that off. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, but for right now, I think I need to step away from the painting for a minute. I think I'll do dinner or something. I know it's like very early. It's only 5:30, but I didn't do lunch today, so I'm a bit hungry. So I think that's what I'll do. And yeah. Okay, hello. It's same day, obviously, same outfit. Not that that means it's the same day. I have no shame for people who reuse the same outfit, especially on a weekend. Anyway, I am not gonna do anything else, I don't think, on my patterns tonight, because it's already like, it's almost 11 o'clock now, so I think I'm kind of done with that for tonight. But I have been getting up to some email newsletter stuff, so that's pretty fun. I'll take you over to the other room where I'm doing that so I can show you. But I came in here to get some hot water. I have been in this habit lately of drinking hot water, especially at nighttime, but kind of all throughout the day. I'm a big tea drinker, but I don't know, lately it's been hot water for me, and I actually love it. There's something very soothing about my drinking of hot water. So anyway, let me show you what I was up to with my email newsletter. We're now on episode 7 of season 2, so that's how that's going. So over here I kind of wrapped up getting my YouTube video up and ready for tomorrow, so that's scheduled and ready to go, which feels good. I'm trying to get ahead of it a little bit more on YouTube than I am usually, and so anyway, that's that. But my email newsletter, basically I'm trying to get this set up. So this is something I actually mentioned in my last YouTube video, this is weird meta YouTube stuff.
We're getting crazy. How to achieve.
Sorry, I was watching also Money Guys. Actually, I think by the time you guys watch this one, I think this will have been 2 videos ago. But in my planning for 2024 video, basically one of my goals that I set out was to do a monthly email newsletter. And so I'm just kind of getting that set up on my ConvertKit. This is a little bit of what the back end looks like on ConvertKit, which is the email service provider that I use. And so basically my vision for this is to have 2 main sections in this newsletter. So there's a lot of placeholders and stuff here in this template I'm making, but this first one is like monthly minutes. And what I'm going to have here are some charts and some graphs that show the way that I spend my time over that month. So that's my time spent on Pepo stuff specifically. So I'm not going to be including my like day job and stuff in those hours. But anyway, I have a few ideas for how to visualize that time, spread over time. So anyway, so there's that. And then the next section is going to be basically revitalizing the big goals, little steps situation here. If you've been around for a while, you know what that means. But basically it's going to be a totally unedited video, but just kind of me reflecting on last month's goals and then making goals for the upcoming month. So this is really good for folks who are interested in seeing the like behind the scenes look at building a business. And then of course I'm going to have a just for fun section. And so I'll add some fun behind the scenes looks at just like my life. But anyway, I'll leave a link in the description to join my newsletter if you're interested in this kind of thing of just like a monthly update from me about the behind the scenes of building my business, kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I know I love to see this kind of thing. So I hope that there are some of you out here who are also kind of curious in this kind of thing. And so if you are, that would be a great way to cheer me on. But this is kind of what it looks like behind the scenes. One other thing I wanted to show you with that is that I don't know about any of you, but I'm a little bit of a data nerd. It's pretty fun for me. And I actually am going to be using a program called R to generate all of these figures that I'm going to use in my newsletters. And so I'm working on that right now. I'm basically writing R code to generate these monthly figures. And so it's going to be very simple, but it's an unexpected way that I am able to use my actual academic background. And like, this is the kind of thing that I do for my day job anyway, is, do like data analysis in R. So it's interesting that I'm finding ways to do it for my own business as well. But anyway, I'll show you more about what that looks like when I have more to show. Like I said, it's almost 11 tonight. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I will touch base with you again tomorrow, and then we'll kind of see how things go with the rest of my patterns. Okay, just want to show you before I go to bed, because I told you here's some of the code I'm working with. It's like very simple, very basic, right? I just want to show the kind of thing I'm playing with to show, for example, this is a really high level overview kind of pie chart just showing how I'm splitting up my time. But I'm also looking at doing some other things, like I'm still playing with this, but like this is dates along the x-axis here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be January. And then hours on the y-axis here. So it's just kind of showing how many hours I spent doing different things throughout the month. The gray one is like my 9 to 5. And then all the other colors are going to be the different categories. So I'm playing with this. This is a work in progress, but I'm having a good time. So anyway, now I'm actually going to bed because it's, can you tell? 1 o'clock in the morning. So time for me to go to bed, but I will catch in with you tomorrow. So somebody just sent me, well, a few days ago, I'm just seeing it now, someone sent me photos of my prints that they ordered that they have hanging up in their house, and I am like, it's amazing to see this. I've never seen this before in someone's house, and this is amazing. Let me just show you. Look Those are my prints, my pink bun and my lemon meringue passion fruit bar and my chocolate chip cookies. Let's see, is it focusing? There they are in her house in these really cute box frames, and it's amazing. I've never seen my artwork in someone else's house. And this person, her name is Gemma, so hi Gemma, if you watch my videos. I have no idea if you do, but like, let me go to her profile. I think she lives in the UK. I think she told me that. Oh no, she lives in New Zealand. So these prints are all the way over in New Zealand, and that's just so awesome. So I can't believe it. So if you've gotten any of my prints before, I would love to see the way that they look in your home. Like, this makes me so happy. And if you didn't know, I do prints. I have just a few available right now of like baked goods. And I'm hoping to add to that over time. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. That's so awesome. I am still responding to DMs. Oh my gosh, I'm behind on them because I haven't really done it since before the holidays. But if you send me a DM and I don't get back to you right away, I'm so sorry. This is why I'm a small creator, but I've got a lot to respond to. So I don't mean this as a way to deter anyone from sending me messages, because I love reading your messages, and so many of you send like the most thoughtful, kind messages to me. There are people on here who just like thought about me at the new year or something and just like sent me a message to say Happy New Year, and that's so kind. I can't believe it. So I'm not at all saying this to say like don't send me messages. I just want to say, if I don't get right back to you right away, this is why, but I appreciate you all so much. But anyway, I need to move on to something else with my day pretty soon here. I did it. No more messages. I'm so excited. Now I need to move on with my day and do other things. It's literally 1:30 p.m. Like, oh my gosh, I've barely done anything today. But anyway, I feel really, wow. I feel really good having done that. So now I kind of want to get back to the patterns that I was working on yesterday. I want to look at them with fresh eyes. Sometimes I like them better after not looking at them, like sleeping on them a little bit, so we'll see. But either way, I think I just need to get them scanned and start playing around in Photoshop, because the goal here is to make some patterns that I can put in my portfolio. And even if I don't end up loving the patterns, I at least have seen what they look like and maybe be able to identify what I don't like about them so that I can remake them and do them in a way that I do like. So anyway, I just have to go ahead and do that. Wow, and don't mind this little piece of hair. This is the risk of having bangs, everyone. If you're considering getting bangs, this is the life that you're signing up for. So, oh, by the way, this is a very Mickey heavy vlog. I was wearing a different Mickey sweater yesterday, so if you missed that, go back a minute or two and you can see the sweater I was wearing yesterday. But this is because my partner Nick and I, we recently went to this really cool, it's kind of a thrift store, kind of an antique, not really antique, like a vintage store, kind of, that's just outside of Boston, and they had a ton of Disney stuff, and I love it. Well, I'm a shameless Disney adult, but I just love it. So anyway, I got some new Disney things and I just washed them when we got back. We did this on like Thursday or something like that, so I washed them, and now I have all these nice, clean, really cute Mickey things, so I had to wear them because I can't wear these during my 9 to 5. So anyway, to my fellow Disney adults, I hope you are enjoying these fun sweaters I got. Okay, so everything is scanned. That process always takes way longer than I think it should, but it's partially because I scan at a really, really high resolution, so each scan just takes a while. So anyway, scans are done. So now we're gonna go, by we, I mean me. Let's go clean up all of these scans in Photoshop, start removing the backgrounds. I'm gonna put on a movie. Maybe first I'll finish Bridgerton. I'm almost done with Bridgerton again. And then I'll put on a movie or something while I do that. This is a fun part of this work. it's kind of tedious to do all this cleaning up in Photoshop and stuff, but like for my day job, there's never anything that I can do with like a movie on in the background, so this is fun. So it's actually the next weekend and I'm still working on this birthday collection, but I've made some progress since I last checked in, and I did a little bit of work on this throughout the week after work and stuff. So anyway, I wanted to show you an update on where I am now with this pattern or with this whole collection and kind of what things are looking like. Okay, so I'm currently working on that floral pattern, so I'm kind of excited about this. If I zoom out, you can see there's some gaps that I'm looking to fill, and I'm doing a half drop repeat right now. I've only done the vertical part of the repeat, and then I'm going to expand it out horizontally and kind of drop the block down halfway between the other two, if that kind of makes sense. I'll show you when it's done. But anyway, before I do that, I'm filling in some gaps here basically by cutting out some pieces around and in here that I can, you know, use. So anyway, like a lot of these blue flowers here, I have just cut from elsewhere and put in there. So I'm working on that. One that I don't know if I'm done, but worked on last night is this one, which is, I think it turned out pretty cute. These are all of the cakes, and if you remember when I painted them, they were not assembled. They didn't have any fixins or candles or anything like that on it, and so I basically manually in Photoshop built these up. Actually, I'll open up that Photoshop file and I can kind of show you what that looked like. It's a little bit hard to tell because most of these I merged them all into, you know, single layers, so you know, you can't tell apart all these different layers, but like, let me zoom in on one of these floral cakes. So if I go to like this one over here, which you'll notice I've left all these rough edges around them. I kind of like the way it looks. Again, my whole shtick, my whole thing is to make things look very hand painted. And so I like how that looks, but anyway, okay, so basically like with this one, you can see that each of these pieces is just like a floral component that I cut from that flower pattern and just put on here. So that's fun, so that they kind of work well together. So I spent a good amount of time over the past couple of days building out all of these various cakes in that way. And it's kind of fun. They kind of go together, but they're all pretty distinct and unique. And then I brought them together into a fun pattern. So I did it with a blue background and also with a white background. I really like the lighter background, but this white cake in particular gets a little bit lost in there, so I may need to make some adjustments to that. And I'm still working on figuring out some of the coordinating patterns, so like if I will open up some of those for you to show you, to remind you what I'm working with. Okay, like, so this is not gonna look like a lot right now, but I'll show you. Like some of these coordinates, I just have it in a dark background so I can see it, but like, I'm gonna do some stripes and some polka dots and some like confetti situation and a candle pattern. And I have a vision for a present one too. So I have a few that I'm working on still. So okay, I just wanted to show you this update and kind of show you where things are standing so far. So I'm excited with this, where this is going. I shared this one on Instagram yesterday and the response has been quite positive. Like, I'm always really flattered when people reach out to me for anything really, but when I share a pattern and there's like a lot of people responding to me to say like, oh, this is so cute, or I really love this one, like I feel very validated that other people like this too, it's not just me. So if you were one of those people, thank you. It means a lot to me and I'm excited to keep pushing forward with this one. Someone said, actually a couple people have said to me that this would be really great wrapping paper, and I totally agree. Like, that's my vision too. I think it would be so cute on wrapping paper. So my friend Julia, who I know watches these videos, so shout out to Julia, she was like, okay, I want to be wrapping my Christmas gifts in Pepo Studios wrapping paper this year, so let's make that happen. So I'm saying that here, let's make that happen, right? Let's do it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I had the best intentions of having this collection totally pulled together and like ready to go by the end of this vlog, but unfortunately we're not 100% there yet, but I have made some good progress, so I wanted to bring you up to speed. I know this vlog is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna wrap it up here in a second, but first I wanted to show you the progress that I've made and just how this collection is looking so far. So I have some footage I can show you here of some time I've spent over the past few days just kind of continuing to chug along, pulling together some of these patterns. Like that balloon one I was talking about earlier in the vlog. I'm really glad that I ended up going for that more watered down paint look. I think that's more along the lines of what I had in mind than the initial kind of thicker paint on that hot press paper. So I'm happy with the way that that pattern is looking. I also pulled together some really simple stripes using the stripes that I had painted and the little candle pattern. And I'm starting to pull everything together into the way that it might actually look in my portfolio. So I wanted to show you what that's looking like and kind of what I'm thinking about at this stage in the game, and we'll have to see where I end up with this one. Okay, so I'm actually still in Photoshop right now. My main portfolio, I'm actually building it out in Adobe InDesign, but because I'm most comfortable in Photoshop, I decided, all right, I'm gonna at least do like a mock-up of what I think this is gonna look like in Photoshop. Who knows, maybe I'll switch to just doing it all in Photoshop. That could happen. But regardless, this is how it's looking so far. So I'm actually liking how things are meshing together at this stage of the game. I was worried with some of these coordinating patterns that they were a little bit too primary, you know, very like red, yellow, blue. But I think with everything else, they're looking pretty good. I do like this color palette I've picked. I am pretty happy with how the cake and the floral pattern have come together. So I think that's fun. And let me show you, I mean, I can zoom in a little on some of these other patterns so you can get a better sense of what they're looking like. So like those candles are pretty cute, and like I was saying earlier, I really like the handmade look like this. I don't know how well you can tell on screen, like maybe I'll zoom in some more. This candle, you can really see the paint strokes on here quite clearly, so that's kind of cool. And on all of my patterns, I put a watercolor paper texture back on because again, I just really love that textured look. So I pulled together that stripes pattern like I talked about, and then yeah, those balloons like I was saying. So like here's what I was talking about, my vision to have them kind of overlapping with one another and bleeding into each other. So I kind of I've achieved that with different blending modes. So I'm liking the way this is looking, and I'm excited to see how this comes together. I feel like each collection that I make, I learn something new about what I like, what I don't like, what works well when I'm building the patterns in Photoshop and what doesn't work well. And every time I do this too, I'm like slowly but surely figuring out these weird quirks with Photoshop that I use to build these repeating patterns. It's all a learning process, but I'm excited by the way this is looking. I do think this is like capturing my vision for this very handmade, hand-painted kind of look, and I hope that it comes across that way too. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this collection. Would love to know what you think of the patterns I have so far, and also if you have any fun ideas for additional patterns that you think would fit well in a collection like this. And like I said, I also have a vision of using these patterns on gift wrap. I think that would be really cute and maybe an obvious choice for a birthday collection, but if you have any other ideas of where you might like to see patterns like this living or where you could envision them going, I would also be curious to learn what your thoughts are when you first see these patterns. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap the vlog up here. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. I know vlogs aren't for everyone, but there's something I really enjoy to make, and I also watch a lot of vlogs, so I do anticipate that I'm gonna put more surface pattern design vlogs on my channel. So I have actually done one other surface pattern design vlog on this channel, and so if you haven't seen that one yet, you can go ahead and click right here to watch that video. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this one, and with that, I will see you very soon in the next one. Take care, everyone.